The Arizona Supreme Court's ruling today upholding an 1864 near-total ban on abortion was a political bombshell. And here to talk more about the political ramifications of the ruling, Doug Cole, Chief Operating Officer at High Ground Public Affairs, and Stacey Pearson, co-founder of Lumen Strategies. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining. Stacey, I'm going to just bring it out to you. Did Arizona turn a bluer shade of purple today?
It certainly turned an angrier shade of red. I mean, we still have a Republican registration advantage, but we have a group of voters who are hot. They are angry, and that certainly is going to impact November. What
do you think, Doug? Did the state change a little bit today?
Well, you called it a bomb. I would call it a nuclear bomb.
Wow.
Yeah. This is going to motivate so many people on both sides of this issue. I would say more so on the folks that support reproductive rights. This is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call, and they have redress, and that would be the Citizens Initiative that, and by my estimation, is going to make the ballot in November.
I was going to say, does this put just an absolute nuclear motor on that particular?
It absolutely. It absolutely puts that on steroids, and I would, as a political consultant, would encourage the folks that are circulating that petition to keep circulating it. They say they have 500,000 right now. I would envision by July they'll have 750,000 signatures after this decision today.
And that would be the impact, obviously, on reproductive rights and those who are support.
Right.
For those who are against, does this galvanize those who are against abortion rights?
Certainly, and we're going to see those funders come in to knock the initiative off the ballot. The same Supreme Court who today imposed a ban when the standard medical care included leeches and cocaine, that same Supreme Court is going to be the one that decides whether or not the abortion initiative has enough signatures. So it is a scary time, and the only way to defend against that is for folks to get in their car right now, women in particular, while we can still drive in Arizona, and go sign a petition. Okay. And I mean this sincerely, like while we can still drive.
Let's say that you are allowed to drive and do what you got to do.
I hope.
Yes, you've been granted that permission. Does this thing pass now?
Absolutely. And it would have passed even with the 15-week ban, because there are no exceptions for rape and abortion.
Ted, our polling, as you know, our firm does a lot of polling. Our polling shows that 22% want a complete ban and criminalization. 62% of known voters want protection for reproductive rights. And 70% will vote against candidates that advocate for criminalization of abortion.
With that in mind, let's go down the ballot. Presidential race, does it tilt it one way or the other?
Well, it's a huge turnout driver, this issue, because you're going to get one issue voters that care about this issue that are going to be extremely motivated to turn out and vote for the abortion initiative.
And we have Donald Trump, who's kind of vague now on what exactly he does believe in as far as abortion rights are concerned. Does this change that landscape?
Yes, he said yesterday, kick it to the states. Well, this shows how bad that could be. Right. This is exactly the worst case scenario.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Kari Lake today coming out saying in her press release that she would oppose a federal abortion ban now. She said that in her press release today.
Yeah.
And she also called for the legislature to roll back this 1864 territorial law.
I got to tell you, Stacey, that does not sound at all like what I remember her saying about a year or so ago.
It's weird, right? Remember when this territorial ban was great law? That's what she said about it. This is what we're dealing with, is absolute schizophrenia on the right. They're dogs that caught cars on this issue.
Well, and that's an analogy being used a lot. But in that Senate race now, I mean, how does that, can she unring the bell?
No, she is the queen of the tinfoil hat brigade against a congressman who has a perfect voting record, both at state legislature and at the federal level, for women's reproductive freedom.
But as far as this issue is concerned, Doug, does this change that particular dynamic?
Well, I think that she's going to have to figure out how to navigate it, and she's put out her press release today saying what I just said, and she's going to have to stick to that because this is now on steroids, and it's front and center, and will continue to be so, because there's going to be all this litigation, as your previous panelist just discussed, and this is going to go on. I think people want this to be resolved, and the only way it's going to be resolved is in the Constitution, because supporters of reproductive rights are tired of of statutory provisions. They want it enshrined in the Constitution.
Does this
And the
perhaps-
polls show that.
Yes, yes. Does this perhaps change the makeup of the state legislature?
Absolutely. We've got such narrow margins, and we've got elected officials like Matt Grass who are certainly doing an about face right now and not enjoying his afternoon on Twitter. But you've got Eva Birch, who has a sincerely compelling story, and you've got women who have unfortunately had to make decisions about their own pregnancies with their doctors. And we as women who have been through that have been in the OB's office dealing with Arizona's weird laws. We already have weird laws about abortion.
And we should mention Eva Birch is going to be on the show here a little bit, just
great.
in a couple of minutes or so. But again, the state legislature,
Yes.
that's a big change if that thing goes Democrat, either house, either chamber.
Right. We have a handful of swing districts. Okay, LD2, which is Shauna Bollock, whose husband is on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And was on the affirmative side of this. She immediately came out with a statement this afternoon saying that she supports repealing the territorial law. LD4, which is Matt Grass, previously mentioned,
yes.
he immediately came out not only with a statement but with a video, like the governor did, and said we need to protect women's reproductive rights, and we need to repeal the territorial law, and called on the president and the speaker to do that immediately. And the governor did the same.
Congressman Ciscomani, Congressman
Did the same
Schweiker,
thing.
these are
Schweiker did the
all
same thing.
swing districts.
Yes.
Republicans are saying, I don't want any part of this.
And they were ready to go, and had their Twitter feeds and their Instagrams were working overtime.
What do you make of that? I mean,
Oh, these are the same. Excuse the analogy, but they told us to smile more. And why are you getting so excited? When Brett Kavanaugh was nominated, when Trump won. I mean, this is going to affect Rachel Mitchell. She's the one that helped Brett Kavanaugh get confirmed by the United States Senate to serve on the Supreme Court. I mean, this is going to have aftershocks all the way down Arizona's ballot.
And the other thing is you got to, as your previous guest said, you know, the four affirmatives were Ducey appointments. The two that dissented were Brewer appointments, and interestingly enough, both Justice Bollock and Justice King are up for retention.
Yes.
On November,
I
and we
wondered-
saw
Yes.
in 2022 three judges that were not retained.
last question, because we got to make it very quick. I need a yay or a nay on this. Doug, we'll start with you. Is abortion now the clear #1 issue on the ballot?
It is in the top. I know you needed a yay or nay.
Yeah.
But we still have immigration.
Okay, so immigrant.
Yes.
Okay, what do you think?
Yes.
You think it's #1?
Absolutely.
See, she just said yes. She didn't.
I know. I have to equivocate.
Thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it.